Oh yes. How you doing? Thank you. Thank you for sharing your evening with me. Giving me my breakfast. Yes. RESPECT. The hustle. Mm. Versus the soft life. Let's see what's going on. I want you to tell me, which do you prefer? The hustle or just living the leisure? Let me know. Let me know. Come on, Aretha. Aretha, respect. She was a hustler. Yes. Tell them, girl. Oh, life is good. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I see you. Mm. Got Reverend Bozeman dancing. Yeah, y'all can't see it. He used to jam to that song. Andrew, dance with me, Andrew. I'll be back. That's what you told him. Look, girl, I'll be back. A man's got to rest. Yes, indeed. A man has to have some rest too. That's what we're talking about. The hustle culture or the soft life. And according to the research that I found, Reverend Bozeman, the soft life comes out of Nigeria. That's what the American Psychological Association says. And if they say it, then it must be true. I would never, ever, 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 ever have thought that, that the soft life trend, came from another country. So, but yeah, when we see what it says specifically in Forbes, the term soft life originated within the Nigerian influencer community and has since spread globally, largely through social media platforms. This movement emphasizes comfort, relaxation, and the prioritization of personal well being over relentless productivity and societal expectations. Queen Howard, we have it recorded. It's in the record books. Now we know what the soft life is and where it came from. I can't make this stuff up because Forbes said it so. Originated within the Nigerian influencer community. Mm-mm-mm. And there's a quote from a blogger that says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but the whole strong black woman narrative, it doesn't apply to me. I live a soft life, she says. I'm a dainty princess. Well, you can tell I'm quoting somebody else. And I will fall out at the drop of a minor inconvenience, said Brittany, a lifestyle blogger on TikTok, posted March 2022. Brittany comically exaggerates, this is what Forbes says, exaggerates the need of a soft life enthusiast. There are real benefits it promises. It promises to, when we're talking about the soft life, Mr. Barden, Queen Howard, Kanika, yes. All the rest of y'all didn't make comments yet. I see your numbers. We see you there. No, look.
It's based on natural resources.
Natural resources?
Yeah, because they got so much oil over there.
Oh, yeah, right? You're so cute, right? To take it, let's see if it's like at least to protect it. See, it comes, Mr. Barden, he's saying, because Forbes said that the soft life trend came out of Nigeria.
Okay.
And, there's some key principles to it. It has to reject hustle culture,
Okay.
and it has to revitalize health with self-care. And three, it has living intentionally while creating boundaries. And I didn't know, like in this Forbes article, it kind of says that, well, it uses as a quote, um, that this woman that they quoted, her name was Brittany, a lifestyle blogger on TikTok. She says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but the whole strong black woman narrative, it doesn't apply to me. To Brittany got that straight. You know, I have you know, I never thought, I don't know, y'all never hear me say that. I'll cry at the drop of a hat. Exactly. At the drop of a drop. I don't know. Just cry. Cry, baby, cry. That's what my brothers and sisters used to say. And I'm the baby, and they would be screaming, cry, baby, cry. Let the something fly. I don't know. So but I never, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe, there's like certain um, certain stereotypes that they associate that soft life, woman can't hustle. So it's like, like she's saying, like she doesn't feel dainty when she hustles. It depends on what you hustle with. And then at the same time, you probably could find a whole bunch of men that say they don't like the hustle culture either. Would you say that?
Yeah. Hmm.
It is because so much of the wealth in Nigeria is supported by that it is spread among the people. But you mean like the people get some of the money from the natural resources?
Yeah, they're more tribal over there, and they support each other more than they do over here. We're more cutthroat, so we have to hustle to survive. Whereas
Mm,
over there, uh, as you can see through their movies, Nollywood, as they call it, is a lot of tribal support, tribal connection, and so the wealth is being shared more readily over there
mm.
than it is here.
I need some
I,
evidence of that. I don't know why they keep stealing money from white women. Then it's like on all those shows they go, here it is, a Nigerian group of men that took this money from this woman. It's so sad. They wouldn't call me. I'd be like, what? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? I wouldn't even give you that money if you were right here. You talking about you in the middle of the ocean. What are you talking about? That is amazing. This one woman killed herself, and when her family had it investigated, it went right to Nigeria. This group of Nigerians were like doing telephone scams, and um, I would have never thought that they had all these resources. That is just greed. Like that's just terrible, and it's terrible.
But greed in that sense also takes advantage of people who have a low self-esteem,
Mm,
or that they are looking for something, and the
mm,
person knows that, and so in a 10-minute conversation,
mm,
now I done tapped into, oh, okay, so you're lonely, you don't have
mm,
anybody, so I
mm.
call you and
That's
say all
right.
these nice things about you and how
Mm.
lovely and beautiful, and I don't understand why you don't have anyone, and so
Say
that
all that. Call me and say that. I'm just joking. Yeah, that's good. That is good. I'm joking. Yeah, but you're right. They know all the right things to say.
exactly,
I
exactly.
remember this one thing, this lady, she said, I went through my husband's emails and he sent an email to you and I hadn't even read the email. I was like, and he said he couldn't believe that you were single and this and that. And I said, really? I said, what did I say? I was curious. Like she said, well, you didn't reply. I was like, oh, damn. But I was disappointed that I didn't reply, but I was like, girl, your man can't afford me. I'll be taking care of both of y'all. She didn't think that was funny. But It's true. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what in the world? And I said, it might be somebody, but you know it ain't me. All over that look, Nigerian email he sent, right? He thought he was like saying all the right things. I don't see it. First of all, the Nigerians make sure that the woman sees it, right? Look,
Right.
do you got to get her to respond? I was like,
Right.
I said, what did I say? I was really literally like, I am crazy. Like, she did not think that was funny at all. But girl, JB, look, anybody should have asked Google JB. It will say number one rule: she ain't messing with nobody's husband. Lord, dude, goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. I'll end up being a sugar mama anyway. He should at least be single. Girl, what I get out of that? Like, so nah, but it's yeah, but there's a lot of women who are like that, like they have money. They're
Yes.
really lonely. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I think I'm really blessed because I have so many friends. Like, you know, I meet
Hmm.
people all the time. And
Sure.
sometimes I realize that a lot of people don't meet people all the time. Like, you know, that is something that my whole life I you know have taken for granted because I meet a lot of people who never meet people, you know, and I think Afroeconomics is great about that because it is a great place to meet Dr. Jones, who is single. Look at him with the arms out. Look at you. We see you. We see you,
Is that Mr. Dawson up there?
Mr. Barden. That's Mr.
Barden.
Barden. Yeah,
Hello.
Mr. Higher
Hey,
Education.
Mr. Barden.
Higher education. Y'all, but Kenneth Jones went out of town on some gambling trip and didn't come back. Missed meetings and everything. He's actually, I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm waiting for you. Look, what did I tell you? I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know it extended all the way through the week and all that. What did I,
Not what I, not what I
what,
said.
what did I
That was
tell you?
not what I said.
You're not
That's not what I
Nigerian. I know
said.
that. I know
That's
that.
not what I said. But it sounds like something I should have said.
You said that. I mean, it might take. So what did I tell you, woman? All right, okay, we'll discuss your money later. Thank
I
you.
am busy.
I sat
I
there and
am
cried.
busy. I
I
am
cried.
busy.
I just want you to know I cried. As I was saying tonight, I do cry. I cry at the drop of a hat. You dropped the hat, slammed the door, everything. Look, woman, what did I tell you? It was what did I tell you, woman? At least you call me woman. He didn't say that, ladies. He wouldn't have said woman. But he did say, what did I tell you? I told you. Don't try to act like I didn't tell you. I'm gone. I'm out of town. I ain't got no time for this. But we're glad you're back. How you doing, Mr. Ramsey? Yes, indeed. But you know, when we're looking at the hustle culture, that's all I know. Like you said, Reverend Bozeman said, it's the American way.
Right.
Hmm.
But I do feel that in Afroeconomics, we advocate hustling but being healthy. You know, I want to go over again the things that they said that are in the soft life. You know, and the first thing is like they're saying you have to reject hustle culture. The hustle culture to the soft life mentally promotes maximizing productivity, even at the cost of physical and mental well being. I don't think of that as the hustle culture. I think of that as stupid. You
Hmm.
know, I don't. But do you think of that? I mean, am I not? I might be just being unrealistic. There may be people that hustle and they do sacrifice themselves.
Oh, I think that's generational
Mm,
Hmm.
because, my generation, it was like you can't survive unless you hustle, 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 work long hours, uh, put yourself out there in order to break through the barriers.
so this whole like healthy thing is a new thing.
It's
Like
a
that's
new,
my generation thing.
yeah, that's a new thing.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you
This.
can't say
This.
like y'all had an option. It was like
Right. This
wow.
work-life balance. This is new stuff.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wow. And then maybe like originally, because women weren't really working outside of the household. Black
Right.
women, yes, but traditionally, even back in time when a black woman, I guess if she was married, she was more likely to not work out of the household as a single black woman or single woman in general, correct?
Yeah. And
So,
plus, when you're looking at Nigeria, when you look at their culture, you look at their media, their movies, they're very comfortable with themselves. Whereas over here, we're still fighting for our self identity.
mm,
They are totally into who they
mm,
are, and
mm,
they are very prosperous mentally.
That's a good point because while they were exposed to colonialism, they never lost their family identity, their cultural identity, as
mhm,
opposed to the institution of
mhm,
slavery here.
mhm.
In many cases, families were broken up and, blended, they were sold off and those kinds of things. So it was a very different experience being colonialized and being sort of have the institution of slavery upon you. So it's a very different experience. And I think
Yeah,
it
Mm.
goes to what, it's already been said.
But don't you think Nigeria is kind of different than Ghana?
yeah,
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
people,
do.
their ideology. Like, do you think a whole bunch of people from Ghana or Nairobi? I'm just thinking out names. I don't.
Well, I think Ghana is a little different in the sense that, of course, Ghana offered black folks citizenship, because
Mm, mm,
wasn't it W.B. Du Bois who went to Ghana,
mm, mm,
and to the end of his life. So I'm
mm.
saying is that I think you're on the same side of the coin, but just in a very different approach. But the same side of the coin when you look at um, countries in Africa. Yeah,
And then like Nigeria has like it doesn't have like a white Jesus statue or something like that.
yeah.
Like, so they're colonized more than Ghana. I don't know. I'm assuming. You
I,
know what I
I
mean?
I I could say I don't know if it's just the white Jesus, but I'm sure that contributes to it. But yeah, I think Ghana's a little bit more ethnocentric.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit more.
They
So,
might
but
have more Muslim, a bigger Muslim community, you know what I mean, in Ghana and things like that. Like
right,
maybe because I
yeah.
do know like we have a Muslim member, and she went to Ghana. That
Mhm.
so it's like I wonder what's the largest religion in Nigeria. It could be Christianity, and they literally like could be more influenced. Like we might try harder as Black people to not be of that culture. Like we identify with Jesus having the hair like lamb's wool and bronze skin, and Jesus, being the Black man that he was. Like I don't think that it would, go over well even with white Christians in America now, that we had this big, statue of a Jesus that we know didn't exist, that in that look, where other cultures might identify with, I've seen that in a lot of African women, that they enter this country and they don't have as much interest as looking like a Black person as I do.
Right,
They'll do straight hair. They're not, they don't have any interest in their natural and things like that. That
right.
that we are trying to get back to. You know what I'm saying? That like you said, like I don't know if we can really call it confidence, or they just may feel that in order to be the woman, their ultimate woman, they have to look more like a white lady.
Well, they still have bleaching
So
creams and things
yes,
over there. Yeah, they
but that,
do.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
ooh, you know,
yeah, yeah. And then we've moved beyond that for the most part. For the most
amen,
part,
amen.
but I think though that while they may have those topical, what I call
Mm,
challenges, we have something I think is more insidious, and that's looking at in our whole ideology about
mm,
why we do what we do.
mm,
And I heard someone said that one time that the African American during the Jim Crow era, like to the extent if there wasn't a back door,
Mm,
because they know where they belong, they would go and build or create a back door because they know that's where they belong.
woo.
So
Mm.
so what I'm saying is that
Instead of just building going somewhere else to eat. You know what I'm saying? You're
exactly,
just gonna accept it.
exactly,
And it still
exactly.
goes on. And it
True,
still goes
true,
on.
true,
In so
true.
many ways. Like, like when I saw when Trump put up his hand like that, I saw black power. And so many people just saw a fist pump. Black people, you know what I mean? They didn't
Yeah,
see black power. I said, "Oh man, this man put up the black power sign."
but
Or
that's generational too.
when I see this, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad to think that there is a generation now that will not identify with that Olympic runner. They will
Right.
identify it with Trump. And they'll think that Trump thought of that on his own. And he didn't. That's us. That's Black history. That's how
Yeah,
we influenced him. That
exactly.
says this is a revolution. That's me. So I remember one Black woman said, "Who puts up a fist when they just almost died?" And I said, "Lord knows if I did, you would see my fist go up." I said, "Because that is Black power all the way. I would
Hmm.
be, you can't kill me." I was like, and praising God the whole time with the fist up. Yes. Especially if I'm a black revolutionary, or however he sees himself. But that was because she just said, "Who would do that?" And I said, "Yeah, me for sure," because that's my symbol. That represents power to me. Some people think it means Michelle and Barack saying hi to each other.
But look how much criticism they got for that, though.
I know. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Somebody said that they did.
they
Oh
did.
yeah, it
Oh,
was on
and
the
there
Yeah.
was.
cover of New Yorker
Did
magazine.
they think it was the Black Power symbol?
No, they thought it was. They
The
call it the terrorist
the
fist pump.
terrorists.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
The
they put
terror.
them in the
So did
what's
any
the
revolutionary say what it was? I
yeah,
wonder.
yeah.
I hope somebody black said, "Look, that is the black power symbol all day long."
That's the
Because look,
terrorist fist pump.
because
Yeah.
Trump ain't worried about it. Trump is
No.
like, yes, and he said, "Fight, fight, fight."
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, y'all. We have to fight, fight, fight. Like you
Yeah.
said, what you just rush into the back door. Fight, fight, fight. Create your own door.
That's right.
But that is a hustle that's been in me since I was a little kid. No, and it has nothing to do with I love all people. I
Sure.
love all people. I thank
Sure.
God that I was born black, but my hustle just comes from my love of people. Love of people. I can't be anything else than that. But I think that um people feel that if they have a dream and they have to sacrifice, that means that they've lost in the hustle culture. Like when I first became an entrepreneur, I realized that a lot of entrepreneurs smoke and drink and don't spend enough time with their families, and you know what I mean, and go through like some really terrible things, and it could be said because of being an entrepreneur. But it also could be said that you're an entrepreneur, but you're making bad choices.
Hmm.
No, we want to. So she's saying, because you want to hustle and you have these things that you want to accomplish, that's why you're not healthy. I argue as a financial advisor that you hustle, you have a dream, you have to make sure that you don't have unnecessary debts so that you can focus on that dream without stressing yourself out, without stealing anybody's money, without overcharging people,
Right.
without, not spending any time with your family. It's about making choices,
Hmm.
positive choices, that the hustle culture does not have to be a negative experience.
Right.
No, if we I argue that, the soft life, is a luxury. And the best thing for a person in a soft life, but your family doesn't have any money and you gotta work to live, is to inject your healthy habits into your hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did with Afro economics. It has all those 10 principles, including your health and your wealth, the whole self care, smushy, smushy. You know what I'm saying? It's not the point of, you know what, in between appointments, let me get in a 10-minute walk or something. You know what I'm saying? That's the healthy choices. That's self care.
Mm-hmm.
Let me, make sure that, some people need to be fired. And if I have all these debt, and I mean like customers, some people have customers that stress them out, but they feel like they have to pay it because they got all these bills. So they feel like they have to deal with this, or they have to keep this toxic job. But it's because of the choices that they made,
Mm-hmm.
not because of the hustle culture. Like I was in a meeting, and since there's been a lot of talk since that assassin attempt. I accept it as an attempted assassination.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who thinks it was like theatrical, I just don't see them sacrificing 2-3 lives for that.
Right.
It's ugly. So I don't care what you
I
say,
don't care what
Dr.
you
J.
say. I do. I do see them sacrificing people for that cause. I do.
That is
Political
terrible.
theater. I'm sorry. Political theater is
It's-
political theater,
Yeah,
and that's all
I
I'm gonna
agree.
say.
You can do it without killing people.
No, the killing
You
people
know,
No, you
makes
can't. No,
makes
you
it more
can't.
dramatic.
That's and more realistic.
more.
Collateral
Oh my
damage.
God.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Barton. Yes, collateral damage is
No,
real.
no, that was our peaceful Reverend Bozeman.
Yeah, that was me. I
Reverend,
gave up that
Reverend
collateral
Bozeman
damage.
added that in there, that we're
Yes,
going to go around killing people for
but
for
we
something
do.
that for something that might work. You know what I'm saying? That might work. I don't know who it was that killed him though, but then you would have to decide which party wants to kill people.
But see, a dramatic change in consciousness only comes through trauma, and so it has to be a traumatic experience to make an impact.
Well, then
Right.
they should have just killed him.
Tragedy.
I mean,
Trauma and
No,
tragedy.
no, no.
or just kill these other random people. Who was the guy? Like, who was the person that would sacrifice their life so they could be shot for this? You know what I mean? This hyper political thing. Like, who was it? Who is the
Okay.
20 year? Who is the 20-year-old person that says, "What did they do? Like, have a meeting?"
Let me or contrast it this way. Do you remember not too long ago the young man who burned himself in front of the in front of one of those consulates or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He burned.
No,
He
I
killed
don't.
himself.
It's called
But
self.
that's not like this
Yeah.
though. That's not like this. That was just a personal decision, and the only person he hurt was himself. You got all of those Secret Service people at risk. You got
That is
everybody on the
ultimatum.
stage at risk. You got all. I think I don't know, but if you think that the hustle culture, that's your microphone feed me back, Dr. Jones. But if you think that the hustle culture will make a person act like that, like a person in the soft life would think, yeah, it would do that. But me as a hustler, I just don't see it as like realistic. Like I believe you can win without killing 3 people. He was already leading. You know what I mean? That's something that I think that
We're not talking about rational people.
yes, we are. We're talking about rational people. That you're winning already. So there would have to be the loser that tried to kill him.
But look what Richard Nixon did. He was already winning.
He
But
was in
what
the
did he
White
do?
House.
But what did he do? He was in the White House. But what did he do? They had the break in, and it wasn't the break in, it was the cover up. It was the cover up that got him. And so, although people see themselves as winners, they want absolute victory.
That's
And
right.
I think this is
That's
what
right.
we're up against. And I'm not always a conspiracy person, but
But that could go for the Democrats then. That they
well,
were trying to kill him.
Well, it could go in any situation. For example, when you look at a person like Malcolm X, whatever you think of him, he was
Love them.
surveilled every day, every minute of the hour by the
Amen.
FBI. And how can this situation happen that the man is assassinated by
Mm,
quote unquote black folk
mm.
and nobody knows what happened?
Yep. Because they weren't in there that day. They put that person to come in there that day and do what he did.
Right.
What I'm saying, they would allow the exploitation that was going on within the organization to take over. They could have stopped it. The
Oh
FBI
no,
could have
but they
stopped
didn't
it.
want it to.
They
But
didn't
Yeah.
want to, and
exactly.
that's the point. Is that when in these situations, they inflame what's already there. That you find, look what happened
But you
with.
still would be referring to the Democrats.
Yeah, well, it doesn't to them. It's not party. Look at Martin Luther King, another person
Oh,
surveilled every
oh,
day.
so you're saying it's like a whole, it could be a whole separate
Oh yeah.
entity.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
that's
no
trying to
question.
cause it
It's
could
no
be like,
question.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Not
know,
only that, not
I would
only
say
that.
that, but I think a lot of people that it's like it's just something that that other party made up. Like, I could see if the only possibility is a third party. You know what I'm saying? But one of the two parties doing it, that's a leap. But if you looked at it as far as motive, then if it's one of the two parties, it would have to be the one that felt like they were losing,
Nah, that's too obvious.
right?
That's too obvious.
Right?
Yeah, but
So why
that's
would the other one do it?
because he's not the person.
But he was already winning.
Yeah, but that's not the person we want. Yeah,
Oh, you're
Yeah.
saying on their own party.
exactly.
Yeah. They want to fire up the troops,
That's
That's
and
right.
it's more
true.
of us against them, and make
Right.
it even more us against them because
Yes.
look at what they tried to
Mm,
do to us.
That's
that's a
right.
stretch.
So
But you
instead
know
of
what I'm
instead
saying?
of
Anything
having
is possible. But I don't know, you know, why we would even fathom that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know why we would like even entertain that as a black people. Like
Well,
that
we don't live in
absolutely
that
has
world.
nothing to do with us.
We don't live in that world.
Yeah, we
that's
don't have to live in that world though. Like we get, we get caught up and they make us get caught up and we have all of our black leaders talking about that, but we still haven't addressed the issue of which one of those candidates are going to give us a livable wage. And then instead of them focusing on jobs that black people need, they keep talking about black jobs. Like that's an offensive thing to say.
Yeah.
Black jobs. There are jobs that black people dominate, and they keep putting up stuff about we judges and lawyers and this and that. When down there in Georgia, they're making that job look really bad for us. So I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? They're trying to say that these are impressive jobs. That, you know what I mean? And the other jobs that we have are not impressive. When you know that the people impacted by minimum wage look like us, and they're on there talking about his ear. The man lived. He put up a black power sign. He wants to talk to black people. If I were a black leader, I'd be all up in his face. Thank you for putting up the black power sign. That means you love our people. You want to help us get a livable wage. You want to help us get full employment. You want to help us, but nope, they're moving the other way. They're moving away. They're going to the Asian Indians. You already see it. And our community is going to suffer for it.
That's right.
In my opinion, like we should be riding the fence like every other group, but no, we go to where they have not done what they promised they were going to do. Biden promised to have a livable wage by the beginning of 2025. That's what he promised to get our votes. That's outrageous. And their response is, well, that would hurt corporate America. Aren't you the one that's talking about you don't care about corporate America? Or do you? So why we even, you know what I'm saying, defend them? I don't know. But all we said every time Roland Martin and the ones that they deem are important for our community talk, they should be talking about financial matters, about loans for black entrepreneurs that aren't 5,000 freaking dollars. You know what I'm saying? They're not, if there's no way. I have been working hard for 30 years. Most black people are not going to do that. The overwhelming majority of our members have to work jobs because they want to make a decent living and have a life with their family.
True. True.
That's right.
Have it. I've had to sacrifice everything to do this.
Right.
Most people are not going to do that. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. You know, same goes.
Well, I agree
You
with
know,
you, JB. I do. I agree with you
hmm,
100%. The thing is that we've, in a portion of
hmm,
us have been played by both parties in the sense that, one, sort
yes,
of, pats you on the back and the other just really doesn't really care about
that's
you.
right.
So,
That's right.
so, but the thing is, though, is that, we have to remain vigilant
Mm.
to both parties to the extent that we say, this is our agenda.
Thank you.
This is our agenda,
Thank you.
and we don't compromise on our agenda. But soon as we
Yep.
get in the room,
Hmm.
somebody is offered a trinket, and that
Thank
person
you.
or their group then
Yes,
peers off, and now we're divided or we're not as united. And so I think that
that's
becomes the
right.
real
That's
issue.
like that lady in California. One of our members was saying, like, I really think, she's good. I said, so this woman has been there since Colonel North admitted that he bought drugs to your own street,
Yeah,
lady. And you're saying you have no idea. She never cared. And she's still in there. That's been 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're saying that's your Maxine. Yeah, Maxine. So
Maxine
you're
Waters.
gonna go down in history probably as the longest person to come with you created a serious tragedy, global tragedy. Allowed it to happen on your watch. That is
It's
failure.
failure.
That is failure.
That is failure. So
It's
does
not
that
even
make
funny. That's failure so bad that it
wait,
stinks.
I agree with you. I've never voted for her in the last 20 years. I know who you're
You
talking
can't.
about.
Like, it's
But
sick.
my,
The
my
lady in
question is this.
come in her neighborhood and we
My
still sit there and
question,
talk like she's like some sort of Martin Luther King. She will go
but people
down
keep
as a
voting
Martin
for
King.
her. Why do people keep voting for her though?
I don't understand because we keep voting for everybody else that does nothing too. I don't know of anybody doing anything to actually help us have the businesses that they actually take over to India. One of the biggest AI companies was started in India. It's not by accident. He picked somebody who's who's married to a Yale Indian lawyer. They are doing this country, huge business in India.
That's right.
Huge. They said AI fully financed by Genworth. You know what I mean? Over there. They still control it, but it's written up as Indian company.
Most of the technical visas coming over here from India.
Black men can't get a contract with the government. Anything, I bet they got government contracts out the yin yang for being Indian. And they know who owns that company. That it's because the labor is so cheap. To doing anything, anything. This is under all these administrations. Anything to avoid training black people. And we think, oh yeah, oh the Democrats like that's our best bet. Oh,
No,
that's the best bet. Oh, because Medicare, what? Medicare costs more than ever. I don't care if you leave the premium the same. People are spending more out of pocket, and they saved into that plan for their whole life. Now they gotta pay for it. Getting an X-ray done, getting lab work done, getting all, but they're like it's only $160 a month. What BS? And those are the people that vote. Those are the people that vote.
yeah, it's been a con job.
Obama was the first president to not give people Social Security raises for like 2, 3 years. Obama was like, they all right, they good. That was historic, and none of us knew about it. Because you know what? Because we love the Democrats. So they give you everything on a need to know basis. Like a client said to me the other day, he said, but you know what? Trump tore up my taxes. I said, how in the world? How? How? He said, I don't know. I was just told that. I said, because it was a big lie. The man lowered your taxes. Lower tax for everybody. Well, they said it was just for the rich people. It was a big lie. He actually put huge limits in there for rich people. Huge. He doesn't even think that you should be able to write off the interest on your house. But the Democrats are going crazy, knowing that the majority of people making over 100,000 are the ones that write off the interest because the majority of people are taking the standard deduction. You think they ever let anybody like me talk and tell them the truth? No. And then Biden comes out with the Secure Act. What percentage of the Secure Act includes anything for our security, for our retirement security? What percentage of it? That name is about just as true as the reproductive rights. What does abortion have to do with reproductive rights? They got all these freaking fake names out here and we're falling for it. Secure Act is for corporate America all day long. Y'all want to Google something? Google the truth. Who cares about 2025? The only reason 2025 is presented, in my opinion, as a problem because of how many people that aren't doing anything would actually lose their job. That's it. Because there's a whole bunch of people taking my tax money, ain't doing nothing for us at all. And if you got a Department of Education and you still have all these black people that all you do is do research to say that if they can't read by third grade, they're going to be in prison. So that's what we're going to use in order to get our prisons built. That's what you achieve with our education? Like, this is crazy. Black people, our kids are not prospering in the current educational system.
No.
And Biden took away all of the care, the help, so that the women can actually stay home and consider staying home, or the man can stay home, give them money for their minor children instead of making them wait to the end of the year. Why in the world should I have to wait to the end of the year for earned income tax credit? Give me the $300 a month. No, no, no. I'm only talking about black issues. I don't know all the other black people. I don't know what issues they're talking about, but I'm talking about the issues that impact our financial security as a black people the most. It is left out there. None. But if I had to choose who has done the most, y'all, you know what I'm saying? You can't handle the truth. We can't handle it. We just can't handle it. I'm just saying, we need to focus more on that. But then you say, I can give you 10 issues. I can give you 10 issues, 10 things that have improved, 10 things that we need. And you would still say, well, you can't be a one issue person. No, I'm going to be a 10 issue person. Stop letting them lie. And I don't think we should help them. Help nobody lie. But some of the stuff I think that we just leave on the table. We just leave it right on the table. I mean, we've had a whole bunch of people come up and say, look, there was one guy that ran for president last time and he said, I can help you become millionaires. I want to help every black person become a millionaire. Like, I don't know, his name was Bloomberg or some billionaire guy. And we ain't like him at all. He was independent. I don't know what he was, but it just, we don't want to listen. We don't listen to it.
Bloomberg from New York.
Yeah, I was somebody who was very rich, and he said that I want to help black people become millionaires.
Well, I think that was Yang.
I don't know, Yang too, but it wasn't. It was a white man. Trump says I want to help black men start their own businesses, and he does meetings with them, but. We're socialized to think we're not supposed to care about black men. That can't be a number one agenda for the black community, I guess. Right?
Right.
Who cares about the person who's supposed to let the woman live a soft life? So how are we going to live a soft life if we don't focus on the family? Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. We're not supposed to focus on family. Isn't this kind of sad, y'all? Like the football player that said, I think that one of the most valuable things that a woman could do is be with her family. He got attacked. Serena Williams said, you can leave, but Serena, you're the one that said you stopped playing because you want to have another kid. So they put that in your script and you just say it just to be saying it? And the guy says, we're supposed to be unifying. We're pulling apart. No. Like literally, as a people, I think we do need to identify with what our values are. And then things would be a lot easier for us. But, and I think, that, and if we, I don't know, because remember that guy from Georgia, he was a minister that was running, and he was like, saying, like, just making up stuff about Jesus's views on everything. So we do stuff like that, like, people don't know what to do. And he kicked out senior citizens out of the place. And then, we decided that Herschel Walker was a big dummy. And we talked about him like a dog. And I just wondered, like, if white people had talked about Herschel Walker like that, how cool would that have been? It's horrible. But yet this man put senior citizens out on the street, the other man, because they owed him $25 and $50. And that's who won. No. Well, no, like, don't know. Reverend Turkson, you're going to have to help us. It's silly sad. No. No. Barbara said, Barbara, I'm not even going to say that out loud. YouTube might not even let it come up. My thing come up. She's, I totally know how far we have come from other cultures being in control of us. What I worry about is not what someone else can do to us. What I worry about is us stepping up and taking care of ourselves and taking care of our families and getting family values back. Because our community has fallen apart. As a Black American community, our value system is done in so many ways. I don't know what we're going to do, to save it. Like, we don't have this, where my father felt like he had to stay, with his family. Like, he stayed. Hey, Steve. Like, when do we get this? No, or is it over? Is it just done? That we just don't have any values anymore. No.
Yeah, the entire system seems to be falling apart.
Man, God will help us. Amen. Amen. We have to keep talking. We have to keep thinking. We have to, continue to say, like we were saying, like, when Dr. Jones was saying, well, this isn't, this is an option. I mean, y'all really did, make me think about, what I'm saying, your options. But then I did the big reversal, like, well, you know what? Why are we worried about it anyway? Let's think about something else. You know what I'm saying? Because we can go on and on and on with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let's just think about like what is really important to us. Because indeed, if it is created as a distraction, then if we fall for it and get in it, then it did what it was supposed to do. So instead, we know we still have these two, then let's figure out what we need to present to them as what is important to us. I truly can make sure that my clients get wealthy under either administration, because I literally feel that they are just two wings on the same bird, period.
That's why they call it the Uni Party.
This is going. Yeah, it's just, if I, in many ways, like if it's going to be like that, Donald Trump doesn't even accept the paycheck. So if it was a business, we're like, well, this one will work for free. Exactly. Pick the one that's free. But we really need to pick the one that's best for us. But we don't know what us is anymore, because we spend so much time talking about, 2025. And, if they can keep us distracted with this plan 2025 that, has absolutely nothing to do with us. And that's a problem, because we need to figure out how, what, board, this, whoever they are, how do I interject the Black needs into this program? Are you open to that? What if we really had someone that was like that was in our leadership, that would say that? That, to me, is truly what unity is. And then someone would say, but no, they're conservative. They're conservative. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they are, but I know that we have these needs. That's the way we should approach it. That we have these needs for our community, for my children's future, for our children's children's future. These are the things where I would love for my community, my culture to continue, because I'm telling you, y'all, our young people are struggling. It is. We do have to help ourselves. We do have to help ourselves. But I believe that that's why Martin Luther King said, I'm not that, for us to be nonpartisan, because our vote as a people has so much strength. Now, if we had a leader that was nonpartisan, but we don't have anyone like that, like Al Sharpton, for example, like he's all Democrat. No, so if the Democrats don't win, the other party is still going to see him as like, oh, they own you. And for people that have been owned, why would we do that? Why wouldn't we exercise the freedom and the power that we have? Like with the Shirley Chisholm, the reason that she gave in and conceded, was because she felt that she had to, because of the Democratic Party. Everybody just started like, saying, Shirley, you have to give up. Shirley, you have to give up. Shirley, you have to give up, And then
Yeah,
that's where we live now. That if a person doesn't give up, they blackball you, they turn their back on you. You know what I'm saying? And because you have no right to be committed to this, movement. You have to submerge yourself and disappear your dreams for the Black community, for the world. They just have to go away. They just have to disappear. But Kanika, I really don't think that people really realize, how much the young people don't have any hope. The government is being dominated by contractors. These older generations, they look at, well, if I get a job with the government, then they'll have security and this and that. But the government is not going to get bigger. The government is going to continue to get smaller. So we have to start, really figuring out ways to teach our children to be independent minded, how they can create income for themselves. We have to stop thinking they have to just get a job and get them to start thinking about how they can create their own businesses, create their own income, and be the best at what they dream of doing. So they can have the soft life, in that they don't need to have a lot of debt. They can go to a nice school that is affordable, that's local, you know. But the only way that they can know that about the soft life that a hustler can have is by the example that we set. You know, I had to
I
stop
had to
being
stop being
materialistic
materialistic.
so that my daughter, could see that, you don't need to have material things, do not replace the fact that I can be there for you when you need me. But that was a decision, that we have to make. But we need to, think about where currently are our communities' family values when you know that the majority of our families for Black community are led by single Black women. Is that what we want going forward? You know? Or we just want to make sure that they can just, I don't, and
Seems to
that
be
gives them
such a
freedom.
daunting problem.
But it's not. It's not, because we're very quick to say what happened on this, situation, and his ear didn't really happen, and that was catch up, and this, and that. So we got all these opinions on that, but nobody will just say that we need the Black family to stay together.
But who
That if
will
y'all
hear
gonna
us?
break up, do we need to effectively co-parent? And it needs to be, you know what I mean, the way things are. That these kids deserve both parents. And
Amen.
I believe that many women are just as guilty as the men. That many women do not allow their children to have a healthy relationship with a man that has failed in the relationship. So that failed, so everything falls. But we have to remember psychologically, we really need to study the mental health. The research says that 1 out of 5 people today have a mental health issue. So that means there's a man and a man and a wife. That's 2 families. So out of every 2.5 families, there's somebody in there messed up. It's not, 1 out of every 5 families, it's probably even more. But so many people don't get help. We're not even encouraged to. We must use what God has given us. Amen. But I think that God is so unreal to people that people use that as a way to say, kind of la 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 la. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying about that minister, in Georgia, just making up stuff that Jesus said. We got people not focusing on the word. He didn't have no scripture. He just said Jesus is this, and he went with it. And the guy in the debate said, "So you're saying this, And he tried to go around it, but the person leading the debate said, "We're gonna go back to that. No, this is what you're saying." Jesus said. You should have said what chapter, what verse. But if we want to use it, then make it real to them. If it takes this and this to make it, then it takes this and this to build it. And we can keep it at that. But in many situations, it's people that don't even have a relationship with God that do their business better than people that do. So we got to get it together. Not just, we don't have to, but just get a job. I don't know. I took y'all breath away, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Like Dr. Jones down there, damn it, with his little bicep curls. So like they're saying self-awareness, we could interject into us, like just knowing what matters. But what about accountability? Like literally, do you, there are so many things that allow us as women to not be accountable for what has gone down, what happened. I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's just, okay. Like, I was watching something and this little girl, she shot her boyfriend. And after she shot him, she said she was bragging about it. She made an album. She was a rapper. She made an album cover. She put him on the album. The man that she killed, she put him on the album cover, burnt out his face. She's kind of like sitting on his shoulder, like totally humiliating this person who she killed. And the album just did well. It's selling and selling and selling, you know. And she would do interviews and talk about how she shot him. And she said, yeah, yeah, there was some domestic violence stuff. Yeah. He said he was going to kill my family. Yeah, well, she didn't say it like that. She just said, he said some things about my family. In her 20s. And she said, so I just had to shoot. I had to kill him. I think she spent a couple months in jail. That's it. Just this past week, a 45-year-old shot a 48-year-old at the Church's Chicken about a food order. 2 women. So,
Yeah,
I
you
would,
know, it gives you a sense of being overwhelmed with all that the culture is throwing at us. And, you know, we know that we have our identity and we wish that we can spread it to others. But we are so overwhelmed with the media
mm,
that is feeding us all this negative, negative, negative.
but in reality, it's feeding us the reality. But
Yeah,
we don't want to, face it.
yeah, it
I'm
is
saying that.
reality.
At what point do we have, how in the world can the media put on there that it's okay for that young girl to kill this man because it was domestic violence when they don't have any proof that it was domestic violence? She just has the right to say it's domestic violence, so I shot him.
Hmm.
He's dead. They have statistics that say that domestic violence in our community is about 50-50. Black women beating down black men and black men beating down black women. 50-50. That's pretty scary. That means
That
because
means
you,
because
that
you,
means because
that means
men
you
don't
know men
report it.
don't
So that
report it.
means that
So
there
that
might be
means that there
more
might be
men
more
than
men
women.
than women.
Like that incident I broke up back in September.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
they
And
said
they said,
Yeah.
they went first for the man. They're gonna beat down the man. What about the incident I told you about where the woman stabbed the man because the security was holding the man down? She was coming after him. She was like, thank you for holding him down. Now I can kill him. And then we want to be worried about an ear. You know? We got more things. We got more things that we need to address. You know,
you
is
know,
that from
is that
hustling?
from
Is
hustling?
that from us
Is that
hustling
from us
so hard?
hustling so hard?
I would have
I
to
would have to
argue no.
argue no.
I would have to argue no because we hustle pound for pound. I would like to take on anyone that says they hustle harder than I do. I ain't hurt nobody. I got left with a 4-week-old. I ain't hurt nobody by the grace of God. So I'm gonna tell you know what I'm saying? And a whole lot. Whatever they can say, I'm telling you, whatever they can say, I just don't talk about it. I can say it too. So I don't, we need to really have those type of conversations and stop hiding behind, Trump is so bad. Trump is not our problem. You don't have to vote for Trump, but we still gonna have problems. If Biden wins again, we're still going to have problems. If Trump wins, we're still going to have problems. Yes, distraction is a powerful tool. If we let it, you know what I'm saying? If we let it, but we have to stay focused on what we have to do to pull ourselves through. Like, and then a lot of people say, well, people, become successful and they forget where they came from. That's not what they're doing. They're just focused. That's it. It's focused. They're trying to do what they have to do. But I'm gonna tell you, it's very easy to slip up. You see some very successful people giving up really late in life. Like you have people in their 60s becoming drug addicted. Saw a story the other lady. This lady was a PhD, a professor, died sitting in her house drinking wine, taking fentanyl. Her sister, a probation officer, did the story on her. She was like, I'm gonna tell you, the drugs don't discriminate. It don't matter how many degrees you got. It doesn't discriminate. We have a drug problem. And it's all in that whole like escape, that I gotta have this, soft life. No, they want to. So, in your attempt to have a soft life, or I can't handle this, you become weaker and weaker, and that's not the answer. It's not the answer. I was saying, today at 5, I had to, get to my athletic trainer, and sometimes, every time I have to go deal with her, I'm just like, I can't do this today. I just can't do this today. And every time you get to the other side of it, you get done. And they don't know that JB Bryan used to be 260 pounds. So to some of the people, I feel big, I look big now. You know what I'm saying? But that was a lot bigger and a lot fatter. And it took hard work with all this stress. I have what they call chronic stress. It don't stop. It don't stop because that's part of my dream. That's part of my hustle. And if I give up and I don't take on that chronic stress to be committed to make sure that people get richer by knowing me, that everything falls apart. But yet, to escape, I use something that builds me up. Somebody at the same time where I'm driving to go sweat, somebody is driving to the bar. Somebody is driving to the strip place. Somebody is driving to have an affair. Somebody is driving, to just sit on the side of the road and give up, jump in the river. Somebody's making a bad choice every time we make a good choice. And it's not easy, but we got to make good choices. Yes, you feel better, Steve. That's right. We feel so much better when it's done. I mean, literally. By the time when I get 5:30 tomorrow morning, I'll be at a different workout for powerlifting. Tonight, it was for track. And I'm grown. We got to do it. We have to do it. And I have to do it. Sweat dripping everywhere. Got to do it. Replying to Steve. Yes, indeed. So relaxation is a big, huge part of the soft life, but we can inject relaxation into our hustle. No, we can get it in there. You just have to have a commitment to what you do to relax. Make sure it's a healthy thing to do. The lady who was sitting there drinking the wine and popping pills, she thought she was relaxing, taking stuff that's killing her. So, they're saying, oh, this hustle life is toxic because They want you to be available, 24 hours and this and that. But what if you have a hustle life and it's your choice because you're building your own business? They're thinking, oh, the hustle life, is bad because you're working for someone. But have you ever thought about how blessed you are? You know, I have clients that make so much money, and all y'all have to do is go to work. I ain't never done that. Like, in a long, long time ago, had a salary I had a salary for 7 weeks of my life when I worked at Central Fidelity Bank before I got my radio sales job. I ran out of there. They were like, I ran out of there to my sales job. Then became a stockbroker. Then became an investment advisor at my own firm. I don't know nothing about what y'all know about. So I think you're blessed. If that's the hustle culture that you got to be there and they want to call you late at night, I mean, y'all. But Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Look at all of us that saw that same situation and how differently we saw it. I'm seeing the Black Power sign and all this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, that's my people. You know what I'm saying? No one else. No one else. I told this a white friend of mine at the gym, and I said, man, he put up that Black Power sign. She looked at me. I said, girl, that's the Black Power sign. She said, really? I said, yeah, you remember that at the Olympics, way back then, And she was like, yeah.
John Carlos.
John Carlos.
Yeah.
I think he came. I think he came. I think I missed out or was there, but they still do speaking stuff, don't they? And he's
Yeah,
still
they
living.
do.
Yeah, they wrote a book.
Yeah, Smith does. Yeah,
That man, they should be back on the circuit now.
yeah.
Look, they call Trump's people to be like, look, Si, we saw you put up our sign. I was wondering if you wanted buy some of our books for your campaign. On the cover of the book, it has. Nope, that's right. Go. Wait, somebody
I
said.
I was 2 years old. I was 2 years old, JB, and
Really?
remember what? I
It
was
was in
2 years
Mexico
old.
City, 68, I believe.
I
Wow.
remember seeing that as a little boy.
Man,
Yeah.
well, I wasn't born till the 70s, so I don't know nothing about that. Oh my goodness. 80s, really.
And my bad for bringing you back like
You see
that.
what I'm saying? I can't relate. Really? Golly. I love it. Isn't it true? Y'all bragging. I'm not humble enough to brag about it yet. That's a guy thing. I'm still soft. Take it like a woman, girl. You know it. You want to say it. You want to say, JB, you're older than me. That's what you want to say. That's what you want to say, but you better not let it out, Dr. Jones.
Even what I'm thinking, man.
Exactly. But matter of fact, I don't know how, if you couldn't have been 2 in 68 if I think you're the age that I think you are. Really, you were 2 in 68?
2 years.
Wow. And you're actually older than me.
Go with that.
I'm telling you the truth. I'll show you my birth certificate. I was not 2 in 1968. Thank
I
you.
was 25.
You were 25?
Yeah.
Wow, you're young. Like, he's like, yeah, right. But you didn't want to be 2. You didn't want to be 2, but 25 is young. He's like, yo, liar. What happened to accountability? He's like, oh, wow. He's like, shut up. You're arguing over 1 or 2. But that is amazing. So Reverend Bozeman remembers it well.
Oh, yes.
It's so good. You were so proud, weren't you?
I was.
It was so cool. Like somebody showed me the other day, there was a girl who did figure skating, and she was supposed to get like the top score, and they gave her a silver medal. So she refused to go on the ramp because she said, she was
Hmm.
either black or African,
Debbie
but
Thomas.
a black girl that refused to go up on the stand. She stayed to the side and they booed her too. But she said they're lying. She was the best. She was like, I'm the best. Y'all know I'm the best. But the judges, robbed her. I was like, go ahead. She did not. Somebody was sharing it or shared it with me on social media. I was like, wow. It might have been Mr. Harris. I have to find that. But yeah, but there's been
Yeah, she's
so,
an orthopedic surgeon now.
is she? What's her name?
Debbie Thomas.
It, it,
Deborah Thomas.
that's the black girl
Yeah.
that did not go up on the stand. Good
Yeah.
for her. She's a surgeon.
Yeah. She's an orthopedic surgeon.
What's that? Like the knees and stuff? Is that
Uh, the bone.
ortho?
Yeah, the bone structure.
Ortho? Ortho?
Ortho.
Ortho. So it could be shoulder too, huh?
Uh
Good
huh.
for her. Good for her. I wonder how old is she?
She was born in '67.
Wow, she's old. Good
She's
for
50.
her. I don't know how old the person would be in their 40s. I tell you, but I'm just glad she's still, hanging in there. Go girl. That's
You are
right. One of
terrible.
the
You are
athletes,
terrible. You are terrible.
one of those guys. I know, right? Never
You are
giving. Never got to
terrible.
stay on your toes though. But you know that look, as if it has something to do with anything. But Roxanne Shante is a college professor. So it's like that's very important. But y'all know who Roxanne Shante is, right? Right? Goodness gracious. Look, Reverend Bose was like, no. But she was one of the first female rappers. But when I rapped, I would always do her raps. Roxanne Shante was my stuff. No, I ain't gonna die. They don't know Kanika, the rapper they have in front of them. I gotta stop calling. I know, exactly, because they are old. I gotta stop calling them old. But there was a secret reason why I was calling her old. It was really a joke. She'd be like, "That's funny." Ah. She wouldn't be offended. Believe me. Indeed, yes. But you're so young that you just didn't see the funny in it. Yes, indeed. And enjoy it. Which book is the great book? Oh yeah, Wayne Dyer. I love him. It's unbelievable that he passed away, but everyone has to go at some time. Just some people like that, like Reverend Bozeman. You have that too. We think you'll live forever.
I will.
Amen.
I promise.
I know that's right. We heard it here. It's gonna be a problem if you pass. Do you see right here? Do you see right here? He promised. And then you'll say, I'm still here. And we'll all go crazy. We will
Yeah.
all go crazy. Did you hear that? They'll be like,
Yes,
we heard
indeed.
it.
I'll
We
still
heard
be
it.
here.
He'll be like, and you'll make that eagle sound. Like that starts that starts off your podcast. And we'll be like, oh my goodness. Exactly. Oh wow. Manifest that. That's right. That's right. Kanika is 44. Mm, we not that far from each other. I know that's right, girl. We not that far. Tell her, Dr. Jones, we're not that far. That's funny. We are not. It depends on how you look at numbers. Exactly. 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 That's right. Manifest that and keep on moving on. So, and but the key of the point, well, you know what, we couldn't not talk tonight without really talking a little bit about the ear, and we did, but the hustle culture, it says 54% of people believe that hustle culture, which measures success by wealth, status, and achievement can result in burnout. No, I believe that the hustle culture can inject in it. They should be a balance of each other. I think too much soft life can be detrimental. I think, and too much hustle can be detrimental as well. You believe it? Y'all believe it?
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah.
but
I
I
almost
believe
ended up
that
with an ulcer.
I believe like for some of that's why I believe like in a perfect world when you're a couple it really does help because having the being able to have a good balance of that is a luxury, it's a blessing, it's a gift. When you're a couple, like even when I was saying last week, when you're an entrepreneur, even if you make a lot of money, but you do have, a spouse that's working with taking care of the kids, making sure house is all right, like as the football player, you know what I mean? That if it's the female and she's being the homemaker, if it's the male and he's taking care, like that it is lower. That just Java just came in and took over my screen. I don't know if y'all could see that it does help. Um, that the family does helps in raising the children, and that um, when you're a single parent, man or woman, doing it alone can all of a sudden put you in a hustle culture, and you can't. The soft life is gone. But yet the football player, when he said that I value this in a woman, he was put down for it,
Well, that's because they were misinterpreting what they said. They thought he was,
limiting them,
yeah, trying to
limiting
limit them.
them. Isn't that sad?
They thought he
But
was
we
trying to
live.
put them back in the kitchen.
Why not? You know, if you want the soft life, then you're supposed to appreciate the kitchen and good food and healthy food and aerobics classes and time outside and parks. You know what I'm saying? How exactly can you have that life without some sacrifice on something? But my thing is, you have these women that have accomplished so much, like Serena Williams and the other women that were complaining about it because they only listen to the women that have accomplished so much. They get pats on the back, they get support. They're in the hustle culture. They're in the hustle culture through and through. They get celebrated every day for what they do outside the house. Nothing will change from that unless somebody starts celebrating the woman that stays in the house. How about that? Doesn't she deserve one day? Doesn't she deserve one man that appreciates her? Can't she have that one compliment and we leave it alone? Ain't nothing so great about having to do it all. And we're lying saying that it is. So the woman who was like, both of my nephews like for their wives to be at home, and their wives are happy, their marriages have worked, you know. So I just think it's time for us to just wake up and realize I do what I gotta do, they're doing what they gotta do, and we start appreciating each other. You know what I'm saying? Exactly for everybody's life choices that they have. And for some of the life choices that we've had to deal with, a lot of our choices were made for me that I did not make, but you deal with it. But no, the reality is like, we should stop being so disrespectful. Like, it's not the only thing that we can do is hustle. And she's like, Kanika said, These days, the wife is very undervalued. Yes, and misunderstood. Exactly. The stay at home wife. Exactly. We seemingly have shifted towards getting money is everything. Exactly. Or even the stay at home husband, and because and it makes it hard for someone like me who is established when I do get in a relationship or I do, that man is given a hard time because they don't value what he brings to me. So he's constantly trying to, prove himself, explain himself to his friends and things like that. You know what I'm saying? When if we're going to be out here working, women should you should want your kids to have someone at home. And it doesn't have to be you. But whoever is good at whatever, they do deserve to have their children. You know what I mean? The children deserve to have a parent. And you
There was
as
a
a hustler deserve to have someone that's going to take care of you.
I saw a
Mm.
beautiful scene at the Olympic trials when this woman, Sydney McLaughlin, who was
Mhm.
breaking all the world records, but
Mhm.
her husband had her on the sideline
Mhm.
pumping her up, and she was just
Oh.
staring at him as he pumped her up.
Mhm.
It was like, wow.
The long jumper.
No, she's a hurdle.
Oh, that long jumper too.
Yeah.
Oh, this one, the long jumper I'm thinking about, I didn't know her name, but they were showing them on the sidelines too.
Uh,
Yeah, but yeah, that's great. It is, especially. I mean, and people don't realize, but especially in things like that, because a lot of the times when she's training, they're working out all day long. They come home, they go to bed.
right.
I'm watching this thing now on Netflix called The Receiver. You know what I mean? And it's showing like different football wide receivers. And then one guy is a tight end on what it requires to, you know what I mean, during when they're in season. And it's beautiful to see so many of them have such strong family values. I mean, they just love spending time with their kids when they're not there. But nobody is saying, what your wife do? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like, why do we feel like, why do we feel like you know what I'm saying, that taking care of him and the kids is not a full-time job already? Somebody did grow up like and always want to have a beautiful family, you know? Oh, that's what they wanted. And it's okay to go to college and be intelligent and teach your own kids. It's okay. Because a woman should be smart. It's not, we don't go and get an education just so you go work for somebody else. You go get an education because you want to know something. You want knowledge. You want information. We should be learning over our whole life. The only thing, there's so much fear about, like, what if I get older and he leaves me and I've put all this time into the children and, this and that. Well, you know what? That's why you got to be married, because the legal system takes care of that. That's why when you get married and you break up, you get half. That's why you get half. There is a difference between dating and married. And that's a serious thing that people don't, you know what I mean, think about. That you have to, when you are thinking about security, marriage makes a big difference. Especially, because you marriage is a serious contract. You're building and accumulating together. What your presence is helping them accumulate that. And less people in our community are getting married. And that could be a challenge for the person who is helping the other person accumulate assets, but they're not committed to you. And you should really take that seriously. And I've seen, people get really disappointed with me when I tell them, you know what I mean, well, these are some key reasons why marriage could help. Marriage could, but if but we have to really really feel that, that's part of your whole value system. in order to do that. But you can't like, oh, not be there for your family because you're worried about what might happen in the future when you're accumulating everything together and the system is set up to protect you in your future. Whatever you accumulate while you're married together, it's half and half on both parties, not just the man's, but the woman's too. It's half of the woman's as well. But so I appreciate you all so much for allowing us to just, for me to just talk about this, hustle life and the soft life. And I think that we can just successfully integrate them, and talking about family values tonight. We this was very, very, very important. Yeah, Kanika. It's a contract. It was set up for a reason. And I believe that when, two people want it, but it takes two to make the thing go right. Right, Reverend Bozeman?
That's right.
It takes two to make it out of sight. I wish I had that song right now. You'd be like, oh my God, it takes two. No, I'm not gonna play it, but that would be it. You remember that? You don't remember that.
Oh yeah, it takes two.
It takes two to make the thing go right, y'all. And that you can have a hustle life, you can have the soft life, you can merge it all together and be happy like Mr. Barton and Mrs. Barton and the Reverend Bozeman and Ms. Bozeman. They're just happy as they can be. Yes, they are.
Amen.
Like
Amen.
you, Kanika. They just LOLing all day long. Laughing out loud. Yes, indeed. Enjoying life.
Love you, JB. Love you.
Love you more than that. Love you more than that. So much respect. I appreciate y'all receiving that. And I hope that everything goes well. Don't nobody get shot in the ear this weekend. Cover your ears. Yes, indeed.
Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it. What did Barbara say? Protect men also in divorce. Yes. Don't even matter if they're earning more. 50-50. That's right. 50-50. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Amen. Good night, right? Good night, Queen Howard. That's right. Thank you. Do what you gotta do. That's right. Amen. Come on, Aretha. I appreciate you. Good night. That's right. Oh. Oh, thank you. I don't want to say it wrong, Nicole. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was because I won. Oh, that's right. Oh, made me feel good. Love y'all. Stay strong, y'all. Stay strong. Amen. Hey. RESPECT. You have a great one too. Bernice. Have a great week. Amen. Good night. Good night. All right. That's right. Goes a long way. Baby, I got it. Woo! Thank you. That's right. Sisters forever. That's right. That's right. Amen. Love y'all.